I'm not overthinking it. Give me Penn State. They're better on both sides of the ball, and I think they're better at every position on the field.
And Iowa usually likes a whiteout.
God damn it! The Iowa fan base is going to participate in the whiteout by bringing all of their white fans.
Okay, mine was better.
I ain't got me nobody. I ain't had me no love. I got the green light, babe.
Macon's writing something down, Steve. Watch out.
Uh-oh.
White Steve.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Good. Checking in on my man Macon. All better, 100%. Sound better.
Oh, I do sound better?
You do. I can't tell if you look better, though. You're...
Nah,
He's got these sideburns that he wants me to cut today, and they look awful.
Well, they're faux sideburns. I grow hairs down on that side of your ear. But
it's pretty funny. He doesn't have it. He does like there's no
not
hair.
a worse feeling than having hair on your ears.
Well, he's got a ton of hair on his ears, and let me tell you, maybe that's why he can't. Sometimes like he doesn't hear what I say in the chair. But like, I actually have hair. You have hair. Well, no offense, but like a guy. The nice thing about being bald is you don't have sideburns, and also, by the way, Steve has a great bald head.
Yeah, he does.
He can pull it off. Some guys can't, like me. But I have sideburns that grow like, literally I have hair connecting down to my beard. He doesn't have any hair. It's just the hair from his head above his ear, like covering that thing up like a mud flap on the back of an 18-wheeler.
It's like Dabo. Pull up a picture of Dabo. His stupid hair stops like above his ear.
Stupid hair.
I have that situation going. So I create these faux sideburns. I have Lori cut these sideburns in.
Enough.
Okay.
Enough.
But they've grown a little too long.
I agree.
Style tips with Macon.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that's like.
But nah, that.
Can we get into the?
You go to the bathroom and you're wiping, and it's like, is there a brown marker back there, sort of thing? That's from something.
I don't know what you mean.
It just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Got it.
Well, that's like my sinuses right now. I blow and I blow and I blow, and it just keeps on coming. So. 40%, Steve. I'm at about 40%. Feeling better.
Your mucus isn't coming. It's here.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a dynamite segue into Colorado, which is you were just in Boulder. And I'm wondering, number one, have you recovered from your bedtime that night? Because I fell asleep in the fourth quarter. And number two, how was it?
I flew home. I walked in my door. I think it was second quarter, like 14 all. And, yeah, I stayed up. I mean, after being there, all that was built up, guys. It is real. Like the energy there. You talk to people there, and it's like they just keep saying 20 years. It's been 20 years since people talked about us. Herbie said it on the show. It's been 20 years since we brought up Colorado on College Game Day. Chris, I can't believe you don't live in Boulder. Like it is.
Dude, don't say it again because I'll move there. I've been on Zillow this week,
bro. It is. Oh my God. I mean, our backdrop looked fake. It was real. That drive from Denver to Boulder is absolutely incredible. Just the mountains are right there, and it sits right at the bottom. It was 70 degrees. It was absolutely gorgeous. The people were tremendous. Everybody's coming out to see him. I'm sure plenty was made of who was tweeting about the game. You saw the rating for the game. Saw the rating for our show. Like, the interest is there. Now you get a little dose of reality because you're going up to see one of the meanest fan bases there is in the conference, and they're
are they mean?
Oh, Oregon's evil. Oregon and Washington are just like evil, and then like you top some booze on top of it, and it gets bad. It's ugly, man. They are not afraid to say anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's and they've had a great run. Washington had their run, and then they were mad, even more mad, because then Oregon had their run, and now Washington's back in the mix, so now they're just both mad and mean.
Yeah.
They can't stand each other. I really hope we go to that game because both teams, I think, are tremendous. But that's another conversation. As far as Colorado goes, the Hunter injury, unfortunate. You went to TCU and you played a team that fit your style of play. Now you face some valid Division I guys up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So that's where it is. We know Shador could keep pulling tricks off, but he's gonna. I mean, this is the challenge that he hasn't faced yet, and I mean, you saw what he could do, 98 yards with the game on the line. This is a little different on the road, and the start to the game for Colorado is absolutely enormous. They can't come out, turn the ball over, because that place gets you going, and that crowd is dying to thump because they're looking at it as, hey, what about us? We're the better team here. So it's a huge spot for Colorado, and a good start is key. I just go back to when I played there. Special teams, I was a wedge setter, and I did kickoff return 10 times in a game. We lost 63-28 to
Oh,
Achilles
boy.
Smith.
Wow.
That was – talk about cringing, like going out there your 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th time. It's like, please be a touchback. Please be a touchback.
Yeah, as much as you'd like to enjoy that place.
And those are the old rule. Like, I hate to be the old guy, but, like, seriously, there was wedge setters, and then there was wedge busters. And that's how kickoff return were. So that was my first experience in Autzen.
The Travis Hunter injury sure is disappointing, and the person to blame is Deion Sanders
Oh, here we go.
for
Is this-
overusing Travis Hunter and his abilities and putting him at risk. And sure enough, pop, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But Deion Sanders is good at burning through people and burning through places, okay?
Here we
so
go.
a star can burn bright under Deion, yeah, right? But a star can also burn out. And this
Was that your whole take?
This,
you told me you were going to take
there are
the
multiple layers.
anti-Dion. He's doing his anti-Dion thing. He's wigging instead of wagging, as Chris Collinsworth would say. It's going to be a new segment for us.
Ooh.
Wagging. Here's a guy who doesn't think what everybody else thinks.
Paper Tigers, Ducks by 35.
Is that why the line's so big? Because, everybody's public's going to be on Colorado, even with the offensive line stuff and Travis Hunter being out like this, just because they know, like, people are going to jump on this Colorado thing. What do you think the line should actually be?
I think that this is what it should be.
Okay.
Because they're only taking Colorado money, too, and the line's going up. So it just tells you how confident Vegas is in knowing what their number is. Same thing happened in the Nebraska game. Turnovers were just brutal in that game. So if you like Colorado and you've been hot with them, you lost last week. But if you're betting the overs, that would be the play for me. Just keep betting Colorado overs.
I texted you for the game. I want to take the Rams, and you were like, hey, I actually think that's a good side to be on, and that was a nice evening for me. I was able to hit
There you
the
go.
hay. And,
So did you stay up? I forgot. Did you say something?
No, I fell asleep in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and all I wanted to see was the handshake. Do you know what was said at midfield?
I don't. I know Shador made sure he was right there.
I know he did.
So
it looked very
It looked cordial.
nice.
If
Yes.
I had to imagine, and I was Norvell, I'd probably be walking up and saying, "Hey, hell of a game. I'm sorry you took it as me insulting your mother.
Yeah.
I did not intend on that. And good luck to you." And I think that's what he said when he turned over his left shoulder towards the camera. Was like, "I didn't mean for it to be like that," or something to that effect. And then I thought, again, not to belabor the point, but Deion is tremendous at the podium, and I think he's just hitting home runs. Contrary to your belief.
Yeah.
All right, so were there cool celebrities in Boulder, and did you hit a bar?
Yeah, I mean, I always say it got us to a conversation, Chris. I think you've played at Super Bowls. I don't know how many Super Bowls you've done Radio Row at, but nothing tops the Russell Wilson entourage. Like Russell Wilson, like you see, it's like a herd of cattle coming through.
Yeah.
Radio Row, and I'm legit. I think the last year I counted when I went, it was either 19 or 21 people that are holding cameras, holding his, I don't know, iPad, sunglasses, everything.
Concussion water.
He has the biggest one, and between Deion coming on set and then The Rock coming on set.
Oh, yeah.
I have a picture. I haven't sent it out, but I took a picture of how I didn't take it. I should have did a video to show who was on the set and then who's behind the cameras with all their cameras, because we have cameras obviously up there. It was like I was worried that we had too much weight on the set. Like it was packed to the nth degree, and then like we have a little watch thing where photographers could come up on the back end of the set. It's actually over by where I sit, and that thing is like people climbing over each other. But it was really really cool. I mean, it's prime, man. He has that effect. Everybody wants a piece. I did get a pair of the shades, so that
nice.
was cool. So
Nice.
it's a next. If they ever do this and they get USC coming in next week, I can't imagine what it would be.
Oh my gosh.
It'll. I can't.
Can you go back twice?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the biggest. There might. I mean, for name and brand right now in the conference, as good as that conference is, I don't. If Colorado were ever to beat Oregon, and you get Colorado hosting SC like that, that's as big as it gets.
Jackson State lost 77-34 to Texas State last week.
Yeah, things have changed there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again,
Appreciate him leaving them in tatters.
counterpoint. Oh, I think you're turning this around to a negative about him. Even
60
though that
minutes.
exemplifies what a good coach
How
he
did
is.
Bronco leave Virginia?
That's a good question. Well, I got a house out of that.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Well, I do have a problem with it. I do have a problem with it because I was actually a Bronco fan. I thought he did a good job. Okay, so give me a Pac-12 play that you liked the most this weekend. There's a couple good games.
Can I shout out Boulder Country Club? And
sure.
And Haters and Toms in Denver.
Okay.
I wasn't able to get to the sink. Fridays are pretty packed with College Football Live and Sports Center hits and Daily Wager and all that stuff. So I was able to go over to Boulder Country Club. Like I said, Chris, I can't believe you don't live in Boulder.
Hey, listen, a lot can change in 4 months here.
Okay.
When the season
I'm
ends.
just telling you. Check it out. And then Haters Rooftop.
You want to make some more money?
Yeah. Your daughter's going to have lived in Montana, Virginia, and Colorado within 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, that kid's definitely going to be a hippie.
Yep.
But then I went up to Denver to watch games before my flight. So Haters and Tom, shout out to them. Great spots. To
Haters
watch games.
and Toms. Okay.
Okay.
Give me a Pac-12 lock.
Oh, that's pretty. It's Arizona at Stanford. I mean, Stanford couldn't
Putting
beat
it in
Sac
right
State.
now.
They're as bad as it gets.
Sac State, huh?
And they took the Sac State coach.
You're so lucky you're out there on the West Coast. We lose to JMU. It's a big fucking to-do. Everybody's talking about it, and you guys are just hiding over there, losing to Sac State. Nobody's talking about that. We never had a David Shaw run. We never had a Jim Harbaugh run.
Yeah,
we should be talking
We had
about
a David Shaw
You had
run.
Sean Moore.
Nah,
Herman Moore
did
run.
we have a David Shaw
Coach
run?
Welsh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a long
Those
time.
are pros, dude.
It's been as adults we haven't had that.
I still remember that Virginia Georgia Tech game. Unbelievable.
Who doesn't?
Anyway, Arizona's the play. I look at the conference there's such good game. Like Washington State, Oregon State are my two favorite fan bases, and obviously they're a part of the Tupac now, and that's what's left. From the Pac-12,
good.
so I wish both teams could win. I'm really rooting for those two teams. It'd be great to see Kliavkoff have to give one of those teams a Pac-12 title trophy in the last year. But
Who do you think's more alive, the Pac-12 or Tupac? Because there's doubts about Tupac. We know the Pac-12's dead. You brought him up.
I was naming the new conference.
Okay. Got it.
UCLA in a monster spot at Utah. They beat Utah last year. That's Cam Rising. Is he going to play? Dante Moore's true freshman. No one's talked about UCLA and what Chip Kelly has. So that's the most exciting game, I think, or game I'm most excited to watch. And then you got Colorado, Oregon, obviously, but Washington State and Oregon State. That's a really, really tough game. I would lean towards the home team in that one. SC is a 30-point favorite again. This time they're on the road. Washington might be the best team in the conference. The Pac-12's alive.
Big Penix energy, as RG3 would say.
Yeah.
Loudly.
Yeah.
All right, that's 13 is the line in Palo Alto.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot. You really want me to climb on that?
It's an Arizona home game.
Oh, okay, got it. Oh, so it's in Palo Alto, or Arizona just travels well?
Well, Stanford doesn't have anyone go
Fans,
to games.
you're right.
man.
I did see a
So
cutaway.
if you have anybody come, you're going to be. It's
The
a home
cutaways
game for you.
seem vindictive when it's a Stanford home game. Like FS1's like, and look at this fucking stadium.
You know how the NBA? You know what I was thinking? The NBA has that tournament. I think in the middle of the season. Like we should get both Virginia schools, Northwestern, Stanford, and somebody else from the Big 12. I'm not sure yet who.
Where's the Invitational taking place?
Vegas.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And then, they just go play. They get a bye week in the middle of the season, and everybody just goes and plays a game. It's hopefully you get
last
a win.
place
you get
team gets relegated.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go to the Ivy League.
Speaking of teams that I wish would get relegated, the Clemson Tigers. They're hosting Florida State Seminoles. And I feel like these are kind of two ships passing in the night. We're talking about this. We're talking about the power struggle, and two ACC teams that Clemson's had this thing on lock. But Florida State looks really good. How good can Jordan Travis be? Because I've seen him in spots and thought, holy shit. And he gets kind of hidden in, this star-studded Heisman class, and you've got a bunch of great quarterbacks. But this guy's been really good in a gutsy performance last week to come in late against BC after being dinged and secure that victory.
Oh, I think he's phenomenal. I just look at the toys he has to play with on offense, Chris. He's got serious NFL receivers in Wilson and Keon Coleman. The offensive line, I've said all offseason, is finally not a weakness for Florida State.
Right.
So just there. Norvell does an unbelievable job of calling plays. I think he puts such an onus on linebackers trying to read. You go back and watch Perkins for LSU, and everybody's making a big deal. He's passing and drops. Well, half of the time he was spying the quarterback. And when you spy and you're trying to play RPOs, that's a never land you want to be caught in. So the way they look, they make their runs look like passes and the passes look like runs is really, really tough to defend. And Clemson has great linebackers. I'm not sure the front. I mean, you can't compare what they have on the defensive line to years past and what they've had and all those guys playing in the league. But I think a big onus is going to be on Clemson's secondary. I would like Clemson if it was a night game. I think it's a big advantage for Florida State to go there and play a noon kickoff. But I think Florida State's the more solid team when you look across the board. I'm not there with Klubnik. Is it a coming out party for him? For sure. Shifley are again, drive him into the ground with throwing the ball and running the ball. And Clemson just doesn't have the playmakers at receiver anymore.
I'm betting Florida State right now, Steve.
Whoa. All right. Be careful.
As we speak. Be careful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did I black out? It sounded
Dabo
like
is an underdog at home. It's going to be
down to Florida State -2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, maybe I'm chickening out.
Klubnik 38% completion percentage.
I want to see this new
pressure.
modern offense. Where is it? Okay. Oh, I don't want to see the new modern offense. Go Noles. Ole Miss, Bama.
Oof.
Bama outside the top 10 for the first time in ever. What's the answer for them? The O-line sucks. Milrose back in there, from what I understand. How do they fare here? Because, for a long time we talked about coordinators and Saban, and then last year it was Jimbo, and I feel like this year it's probably Lane. So how do you see this playing out?
Well, Alabama, it felt like went on last week, right? He names Buckner the starter, and then they're up against it at South Florida. He's not even an option, Milroe, to come in. He doesn't even get a snap. So I don't know. Now he's back as a starter. I don't know if they were trying to prove something to the team that we could win with. I have no idea. But their best offensive lineman, Tyler Booker, was out, and you saw them struggle. The big freshman, the left tackle, he's an absolute going to be a stud, but he can't handle a speed rush. He just can't do it. So I go back and I think about Tommy Rees winning football games at Notre Dame with guys like Drew Pine at quarterback. If he can win games with Drew Pine, he can win games with Jalen Milroe. So I think there's going to be some different ways of going about things. Giving the tackles help on pass pro, I think, is number one. And getting back to that run game. If you can't create movement when you're running duo and all that stuff, what are you going to do? You go back to some RPO. Milroe's more than capable as a runner. So I expect Alabama to be way more buttoned up on offense this week. And as good as Ole Miss, the wins at Tulane and a win against an ACC team in Georgia Tech, I'm still not there. No one wants to win this game more than Lane Kiffin, but I don't know if he has the guys to do it. This is a you saw Texas go in there and with the playmakers they have, answer every time Bama, answered them. So I don't think Ole Miss has the capability. I hate giving points with Alabama with how they've looked offensively last week, but I'm going to take Bama and lay them. They're still a factor of going into that stadium and beating them, and I don't see it.
Iowa, Penn State. I was told to look back at 2009 when Iowa won 21-10 and both teams were 3-0. I think Penn State was a big favorite. You had the James Franklin fake injury thing the last time they played. Penn State lost the last 2 meetings, but I feel like this team is different, and they haven't turned the ball over. So Marcus Hagan's new wide receiver coach out there. I love their wideouts. They obviously have studs up front. The quarterback looks good. Does Iowa have a shot here?
I'm not going to overthink this one. I picked Penn State to go to the playoff, guys. I know what Iowa brings to the table. It's a whiteout. Give me Penn State. I'm laying the points. I love what I've seen from Penn State. They won on the road, which they really haven't done in years past, playing like a C game. They didn't play well offensively. They weren't able to capitalize on those early turnovers they got, had to kick field goals. I think Iowa's up against it here. Their tight end, Lachey, is out. I think it's a big loss for them, knowing how they like to use them and keeping, the chains moving. But I'm not overthinking it. Give me Penn State. They're better on both sides of the ball, and I think they're better at every position on the field.
And Iowa usually likes a whiteout.
God damn it! The Iowa fan base is going to participate in the whiteout by bringing all of their white fans.
Okay, mine was better. I didn't know they had any other kind of fans.
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah.
You explain the joke.
Yeah. Okay, so we like Penn State. We love that.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a little look ahead to this week's game day before we get into your awards. We've got Ohio State at Notre Dame. Urban Meyer's on the radio complaining about Michigan's schedule and all these teams, and then they pull up his schedule out of conference while he was at Ohio State. He's saying this is good for football. I agree. This is great that these two teams are willing to strap it up and play, and I think it's going to be a hell of a ball game. How do you bottle up this running back from Notre Dame if you're the Buckeyes? Is that going to be the key to victory?
I think the key to the game, Chris, is Ohio State's offensive line. They really struggled on the road at Indiana in week 1. They come out last week, name McCord the starter, and it looked like he played a lot more relaxed. They had some shot plays in there. He hit them. Obviously, we know the talent they have on the perimeter. It's maybe second to none. But how does that offensive line travel in a road in a hostile environment? Now you're up against it. And when I look at Notre Dame, they got decent personnel on the D-line, but they got good guys to mix it up and disrupt things up front at the linebacker position. And I like their secondary. Great athletes back there. They're going to be up against it, against those receivers. So the key to the game to me is offensive. Can you keep McCord upright and not flustered? I'm not sure Ohio State could do that. I think Notre Dame is in this game from start to finish. Notre Dame, their tackles are great. They're going to be up against it in interior with the centers and guards. Hall is a kid for Ohio State who's gotten better, a lot better. So this isn't the Chase Young Ohio State defensive lines or the Bosa's, but it's pretty darn good. So that's a great matchup too. And can Notre Dame with Hartman? You got Hartman because you wanted to win games like this, and you've been blown out in situations like this, and this is why you have him to make plays in the air. But they got to be able to keep Ohio State honest and be able to run the ball with Estime. So I think they're going to be able to do that. I like Notre Dame in the game. I go back. I'm older than you guys, but like in the late 80s, early 90s, like no one went to Notre Dame and won. Florida State, whoever, Penn State, it felt like, Miami. There'd be, Jerome Bettis would score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, Reggie Brooks, Chris Zorich on the defensive. Like, you knew all the Notre Dame players. They found a way to win these games all the time. And I think, Game Day going back there for the first time in a while, like these are the two brands that when they're good, the fan bases are pretty nauseating. So they're both undefeated. And Notre Dame, you get that arrogance when they're undefeated. You guys, you played them. You've been against them. And yeah. Ohio State is just all out chaos. Like they don't care. They're going to come in and try and own it. So I'm fired up to see these two fan bases go at it. And it'll be, when it comes to brands in the sport, it doesn't get much bigger. And I expect a really high level game, good game. But I would lean towards the home team taking the points. I do love the under, Chris.
I get the sense that Macon's Hall pass is making Notre Dame, like more capable of competing at the end of the year. Like this is the highest ceiling this team's had in a
13
while.
touchdowns, no picks.
You agree there, Steve?
Shartman.
Hartman gives them a little bit more upside than they've had in the past.
No doubt. Yeah, that's the feeling I get. And, I mean, I go back. I think he played against Notre Dame as a freshman. So I remember that was like the first time I think I saw him. But anyway, I think we did it. He's older than 8 quarterbacks that have started an NFL game this year. Wow. So he's got experience. I think it's 49 career starts.
Wow.
Are you taking any gear to South Bend, or are you going to try to get a?
Do you just travel with no bag?
Just 3 suitcases.
Just show up
all empty.
You got any duffel bags with the Notre Dame logo on there?
I don't. I might on the way home.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Well, is there a bar you like there? Are you going to go hang out with Rudy at that bar that he always pops
I've
up
been
at?
told to check out the Linebacker.
Okay.
That's
the one.
Club.
I think that's the one. Linebackers. That's the one where Rudy hangs out.
Maybe
you've been in there with Rudy.
He was very drunk.
That was a plot hole in the. Well, I don't know if it's a plot hole, but they just omitted that whole storyline. But Steve, you said I would do well in Boulder.
Yeah.
Is there a town that Macon would do well in that you've been in college football or on game day? Is there like a University of Yorkshire playing football?
What when you think of Macon, Chris? What brand do you think of? Like, is it Vineyard Vines? Is it
Brooks Brothers?
It's
LL
probably
Bean?
Brooks Brothers. He's
Brooks
right.
Brothers?
It's Brooks Brothers.
Okay. I think Virginia kind of.
I think he's right where he needs to be. Honestly,
I think he is. You're
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've gotten the report on the game day situation. You've got some locks there, folks. Hope you play those. Now, how about the award portion of this segment?
Fired up for this. Which one you want first?
Let's go with the Timmy Chang.
Timmy Chang Award is pretty simple. Sacramento State was paid $625,000 to go to Stanford and play a football game. That's pretty big
against
win.
their former coach.
Correct. This week's Timmy Chang Award winner is Caden Bennett, quarterback of Sac State Hornets. I believe their saying is #StingersUp.
Oh,
You like that?
yeah, I do.
He threw for 279 yards and a touchdown. He ran for 100 yards and a touchdown. Unbelievable play to get a ball off for the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter with about 1:30 left. Yes, I was the guy that watched the replay on Pac-12 Network. And, Caden Bennett, no doubt. I can't imagine how motivated they were to play against their own coach and go to, little guy going to play the big guy. So good for Sac State getting that win.
Stingers up, sacks down. That's what I always say.
Hey, now.
Now, the Sac State mascot is terrifying. The Sac State colors are not actually yellow and black.
No.
You're the Hornets, and you go with, like, the USF color palette. I don't get it. Okay, so let me tee you up for your next award, the Coughlin Award.
Yeah, this might be a first time, guys. We're going to the D line.
Oh yeah,
D-line number 99, Cam Jackson, Florida Gators, absolute stud. He's a transfer from Memphis, and going back and watching that Florida game, it was pretty telling. Everybody's trying to find a way to defend, whether it's the Art Briles system or what you saw with the Heupel, do his thing. So Tennessee comes in. They have not been good in their last trips on the road. Going back to last year, I said all week they needed a good start, and they had a decent start, but they couldn't overcome Florida. Florida was able to play the run with 3 down guys, and Cam Jackson's the reason why. I think he ended up with 9 tackles, 6 solo, but the way he was able to, two-gap that interior of the line, and you saw Florida play that with minimal guys so they could give help on the vertical stuff that Tennessee loves to do, I thought was really something to keep an eye on when you talk about defending these kind of offenses. So they could not do it without Cam Jackson up front. I think the world of the kid, and he played his butt off Saturday night in the Swamp. So Cam Jackson, Coughlin Award winner.
Serious question, poorly formulated. Can you all fathom Desmond Watson, 21 for Florida?
He actually played the best game he
played great. Played
Yeah.
great. Listed at 6'5", 435.
No, I can. And, this guy, number 99, standing next to him, it doesn't look that weird. So, they got some big pear-shaped jokers in there in the run game.
What was the highest weight you ever played at?
283. I can't imagine strapping on
Wow.
150.
What year was that in the league?
So this is actually in college when I used to
Really?
yeah, because we were two-gapping. That was the thing. Like when I got in the pros.
Were you on that creatine?
I was on creatine a
Were
little
you
bit.
snorting it, eating
No,
it?
I wasn't snorting it. I was just eating a ton of food, pizza, whatever it was. And then we had Matt Bayless, who obviously is a Notre Dame secret weapon. And it was all about, hypertrophy, which Macon could do you some good. It's muscle failure. Really gets the pump going.
My muscles are just succeeding all the time is my issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Muscle
that's
success.
You're on the muscle success
I
program.
just can't get these
That's
things
the
to fail.
best thing I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I used to sneak in there because oftentimes I have a problem keeping weight on. So I'd go in with 2.5 pound plates in my pockets and make the weight. But I was like, 283. All right. Let's move away from college and into the pros for the locks. What do we got from a standing standpoint? I'll tell you. Chris 3-2-1, Macon 3-3, Steve 2-4. Last week, I do want to complain about that Eagles beat. I bought them down to 4 in real life, but 6 is. That last drive, I was cussing you out because you had them on Thursday Night Time Machine.
Yeah.
You just always seem to hit it on the head. Some backdoor cover. Hats off to you, the Eagles. Exactly 6. Now, the Jets, I forgot that I picked that. I don't know what I was thinking. Macon, you had the Raiders last week in a loss. Houston.
But I knew it was wrong right after we discussed it.
Yeah, to your credit. And
Yeah.
then Jacksonville, Steve, 3.5. That's a tough one.
Ugh.
Yeah.
But the
How many plays
Steelers.
can you have inside the 15-yard line and
A
not
lot.
get any points?
How many receptions in the end zone would count in college?
Ugh.
Okay. So, anyways.
Maybe we should call these, I don't know, the latches instead of the locks.
Because, door's hopefully going to stay shut, but
Right.
with enough force.
I think we're around 500.
Yeah, no, but that's not bad. I mean, I'm not around 500. I mean, you still be plus money if you tailed me, but go ahead. Who's up first?
It would be Steve, last place Steve, as we call him.
I am the defending champion.
Okay.
I'm not able to bring that up anymore.
No, you can bring it up.
Okay. I'm going to take the Bears plus 13.
I love it. I love this, Steve.
Not many times you could get 13 points in an NFL game. They can't be as bad as they've been, I hope, the first 2 weeks. Just give me the Bears plus the 13.
I love it. It's a classic back against the wall game. Everybody's going to be on Kansas City. It couldn't be
Flus game.
Flus. There's something going on with the D coordinator, although it's kind of hard to rally after a situation like that if it is what it's rumored to be. But I think all in all, this is a spot where maybe Justin Fields says, hey, fuck it. I'm going to play a little bit faster. I'm going to be decisive. I'm going to get back to doing what I did last year. And I actually like to play, Steve. I almost played him.
All right. I pick up a thing or two from Steve here through the years. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make a stanky pick.
Okay.
Feels awful.
Let me guess.
Feels terrible.
Rams?
No.
Panthers.
The Denver Broncos.
Oh.
The Denver Broncos plus 6.5. They
can score.
They are in Miami. Hey, 2 fourth-quarter leads.
As we
at
talked
0-2.
about, they can score.
Miami a little dinged up. Feels like it should be above a touchdown.
Is Phillips coming back? I believe so, if I understand it correctly. Armstead, I'm not really sure. And the big one's Waddle. I saw him on the injury report, but I assume there'd be a bigger deal made out of this if he wasn't playing.
And Macon, here's my public apology to you for assuming that you were the one who logged on to
Thanks,
YouTube
Cowboy.
TV at the most inopportune
Hey, he's not
time.
going to watch any.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's not
did we
fair.
figure that out? Is the investigation done?
Yeah, investigation's done. It was
It was Nate from the
nasty
hospital.
Nate from the hospital.
I watch via Red Zone.
Okay,
these days.
good. Yeah.
I don't need your login.
Okay.
How's the fantasy team, Macon?
That's an interesting question.
2-0.
Oh, so is mine.
Oh.
Bed Bath and Bijan. What's your team name?
The houses.
The house is still. Okay. All right. I've got the Falcons. Falcons.
Okay.
Love the Falcons.
Good spot
I
for the
love it.
Falcons. I knew they were next up in the hopper. I thought you'd snipe me on that one, but I explained why I like that spot in the previews. Give me the Falcons. I'll think about buying that half point.
Wow, that is a very interesting.
Because I like pushes. I don't care. You guys get the red letters. I get the, I don't know what,
Black.
Yeah.
My goal this week is to not watch 1 second of Patriots Jets because I have, like, you talk about zero sizzle. I'll put that game up against anything the rest of the year. And there was 2 bad ones this past Monday night. But Patriot, like, you could have it.
I enjoyed Cleveland-Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I like a slobber knocker. But the other one was like was all slobber, no knocker.
Yeah.
In Carolina. So
Chris, how good do you everybody's talking about obviously the injury to Chubb and all the other stuff, but I came away like second week in a row really, really impressed with Cleveland's front seven.
yeah,
Like they
no
are,
question.
They are
No question.
serious.
Miles Garrett, people were going crazy because he had the highest PFF grade. I said this on the other show. If Miles Garrett's not in on the play, that's because there's 3 people blocking him or the ball goes away or something of that nature, the ball's out. I mean, some of the rushes that he won when he had opportunities to, it's just so easy. That front's really good. The back end has played really well. I think, and they're going to have to play well, right?
Yeah.
So what was your pick?
I'm taking the Eagles. Monday night.
Oh, fuck you. That's a good pick.
I don't
Thanks.
know.
That was going to be my first Eagles share of the
don't
year.
know.
I think he's right.
They're banged up. Mike Evans, good offensive line can maybe – I mean, that's going to be an interesting matchup. We'll talk about it more on the Monday show. But, like, you talk about an offensive line that hasn't given up a lot of pressures. It's so funny because you were like, Tampa, they're going to be this different team. But they have a lot of the same pieces. I mean,
Yeah, they still got guys on defense.
Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett made 2 big plays last week, like the usual cast of characters. And if you get Baker Mayfield, here's the interesting thing about him. He's basically Taylor Heineke. We were talking about it this week. And Taylor Heineke, everybody's like, yeah, he gives you a chance, the whole thing. Because he's coming from down low and Baker's coming from up top, people can't get that Baker, top 5 pick stank out of. If he plays like he's played so far this year, and there's no reason to believe he will, they're going to be okay. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be a 500 team, but they're tough. And Todd Bowles, the last time the Eagles had trouble, especially with the blitz, and they've seen a lot of it the first 2 weeks, was that wild card game a couple years ago.
Give me the Minnesota Vikings at home against the Chargers.
Hate it.
Love that.
Hate it.
The Vikes have added Cam Akers. You get 2 middling running backs. I mean, that means 1 elite.
They're
running
saying the
back.
mid-off is what
Okay.
they're saying.
Chargers 0-3. It's coming.
Okay.
Coming, whether you like it or
Staley
not.
gone?
Here's what I said the other day. Spanos is cheap, okay? So I don't know if they're actually going to do this, but if there's a time to do it, it's getting back on the plane after you lose to the Vikings because they got the Raiders coming up, and the Raiders would be a good interim head coach warm-up before they get into a really tough stretch over the next couple weeks. So, yeah, I do think if I was Dean Spanos, I would realize that I'm really rich and I'm not going to die broke if I fire my coach. Maybe I should just do it. All right, I'm up. Boy, oh boy. Give me Tennessee, Cleveland under. I just feel like you want to go back to 1997.
Yeah.
These are 2 teams that, like they're beat up, they're tired. Cleveland in a real. I mean, like look at. I said this earlier, but look at the Steelers. They're going to play the Raiders after playing 83 snaps on defense. Okay, the Cleveland was in that game too, and they got to go play the last team you want to play off a week like that on a short week. So I just see this being, if there's no pick six, there's no fumble return for a touchdown. I kind of like it. It's around 40. I might buy the half point there on the total.
Love it. Love it.
I bought it to 41 in real life
course
because I'm
you
a
did.
coward. But being a coward pays. Okay.
Hey, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Buy another point.
That's the
Why
thing
not?
about agency.
If I'm going to take 13 with the Bears, I'm going to lay 12.5 with the Cowboys. If the
Okay.
Giants could make it a home game out in Arizona, the Cowboys can.
No question. That's
Give
going
me
to be a
the Cowboys.
bloodbath.
Steelers needed 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
Short week. Najee is not impressive. That
James
run game,
Cook got that run game going. It's a get well week for everybody. Play the Raiders.
Give me the Las Vegas Raiders for the second week in a row.
I don't hate that. If I had to lean anywhere with that thing, I'd go over, actually.
I don't think Macon really likes that pick. That's the sense
Yeah, he
I
doesn't
got.
feel great about it, which means it'd probably work out. That's the way it goes with this thing. You know,
It's
for
probably a
the
3-0 week for me, Steve.
for the final
I just- I'd like us to track. Now we have video. I'd like us to track Macon making picks when he's leaning on the right hand.
That's true.
That's a tell.
No, it is. So my final pick, I'm going to take you inside the hood here, under the hood.
Oh, pop the hood.
I just put a big teaser in, like
Tease
big
God's
with a capital
back,
B.
baby.
Well, the tease God was back last week.
Week 3.
You know why
week 2?
You know why I'm the tease God? Because last week I explained it to the guys. Okay, I thought about money line parlay. I thought about, first off, I was going to bet the Bills no matter what because they were going to throttle them.
Yep.
But, like, even though McVay it gets owned by Shanahan on a regular basis, I was like, that could stay tight. 7 points is a lot. So I teased the Bills and the Rams in a big way, and I feel like if I can put in one teaser a week where I take a touchdown favorite and another touchdown favorite, get it down to a pick 'em, I feel good. So this week I teased the Seahawks and the Bills. I think Bryce Young might not. I don't know. He was pretty banged up after that game. I don't know how he's going to look if he's going to be up. It's that kind of thing in Seattle. So I like that. I also like the over in the Broncos-Dolphins game and the under in the Bears-Chiefs game. I'm going to go with the Broncos-Dolphins over. Okay. It's right now. It's sitting at 49. I do believe they're going to be able to score both teams. What are the Dolphins score on the Broncos? 30 points.
I don't know.
Hopefully 30 points. Okay, if it's 30 points, I feel pretty good about this.
I'm on the Denver Broncos.
Give me the I think the offense, Miami's offense is going to be the problem. So,
I love Miami's personnel, man.
They're great.
I'm mostly talking about the defensive side.
Yeah, I do too, but I like it all. I said earlier in the offseason that they might have one of the best rosters in football, if not and it's kind of played out that way in the AFC East. Is like you play the games, and obviously Mike McDaniel maximizes the talent they have, but the even distribution of playmakers they have, they got somebody at like every position that you like. Offensive line being the one that you don't love, but they've found a way. So hats off to the Dolphins. And that wraps it up. So again, I have the Broncos-Dolphins over. I have the Falcons -3.5. I'll buy the half point on Titans-Browns, get it to 40.
If I haven't bought a point the first 2 weeks. Does that mean in week 3 I could buy a point?
No, they don't roll over.
Oh, no rollover.
Yeah, you got to just buy the point. And then we've got Macon's got the Broncos catching 6.5. The Vikings and the Raiders covering as favorites. Steve's got the Bears +13, the Eagles -4.5, and the Cowboys -12.5. Who's laying the most points this week? That's you, Steve.
Yeah, but I'm getting. It's like even.
Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not a math guy.
No.
Hey.
Are the Saints good?
Okay, so here's the thing about the Saints.
Tell me.
I think they'll be a lot better when Kamara gets back next week. I don't know if they go up there and win. I don't know about that. Penning played better last week. The rushers played pretty good, winning one-on-ones. In the first week they had to manufacture pressure. I think they're a good team, and if they get out of this stretch, like the NFC South, they got to feel like is theirs for the taking. Yeah.
I'm going to take the half point with the Denver Broncos. Get that bad boy to 7.
But look out for them Falcons.
There you go. His eyes are working.
If there's any good for you. If there's any Falcons fans in here, I noticed you guys because we posted a wildly popular YouTube video on the Falcons breakdown. Thank you for that, guys. I noticed you took some issue with my analysis of Desmond Ridder. If you think he's the guy, like going forward, great. But I do think he's got to catch up to that team, and that's a compliment to the team. It's not as much a downing of Desmond Ridder. There's a lot of guys like Desmond Ridder. He's athletic. When I say he threw them a few, that means he threw the ball to them. That doesn't mean they picked 3 of them off. So a big question for me in the NFC South is going to be that position in Atlanta. If it's good, they can win the division. Okay. Those are our locks.
Steve,
Latches.
Latches.
I'll put your half point on the Bears so you can't push it.
Okay.
Yeah, see? Producers got you.
Everybody good? They got their Sunday situated where how they're watching games?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanna
We're
make
gonna
sure.
hey, and you notice
Heartbroken.
nobody
for
bet
Reed.
any unders, and we've got a fucking tropical cyclone coming through.
Oh yeah.
Oh, weather guy, huh?
It's evidently a direct hit. I asked
Where?
the guys earlier, the tri-state area. They said there's a cyclone coming through, direct hit, which sounds like a cyclone, direct hit, Jason Statham kind of movie. But this week it might mean unders, so take a
Okay.
look at some of those.
We'll check in.
Okay.
Let me know how the eye of the storm is looking.
Yeah, I've never been inside one. I always wanted to be inside one. Yeah. Take care, Steve.
Love you
We
guys.
love you. We love you.
Shout out to the branch and Kyle.
Yeah. R.I.P.